Welcome to the video, guys. I'm not going to beat around the bush here. This might well annoy a few people. I just don't care. Something needs to be said. Because the media are trying to make out like people have something against the NHS just because they're criticising something they are doing, which is just a clear bit of virtue signalling, in my opinion. I got no time for attention seekers at the end of the day. This is relating to the NHS nurses and doctors, or whoever they are, going around releasing videos on TikTok and other places, dancing like imbeciles when people are dying in the very hospitals that they are dancing in. It's a bit inconsiderate and just makes them all look like a bunch of attention-seeking losers, in my opinion. We respect the NHS for the things that they do, not for them dancing around like idiots. And we must remember context here. These people ain't doing this out of the goodness of their heart. They are being paid to do it. So, them being a doctor or nurse and working in a hospital treating the sick is literally what they signed up for. They don't get no special treatment from me in that regard, and they shouldn't receive any from anyone else. We should praise them for what they are doing, obviously, but that is it. Now, as you can see on the screen, this article from the 31st of March, NHS nurses release energetic TikTok video of them dancing amid coronavirus battle, which at the time I didn't bother covering because I just thought it was pathetic and I left them to it. I thought it would die out. But there was multiple media organisations reporting on it at the time. This one here 3 weeks ago again. Watch TikTok nurses dancing here, NHS against coronavirus. And there's a picture of them doing it. Some of the videos I'm not going to bother playing because I just don't care. You get the point. It's much like as we see here, the clapping. I don't agree with that. I think that's pretty stupid. People respect the NHS and are thankful for what it does. You don't need to go outside and stand there like a bunch of clapping seals. Yeah, again, 31st of March, we have another article. And here we have yet another one, this time the 9th of April. This is what said to me it was continuing. The Guardian were reporting NHS staff performing TikTok dance routines to keep morale high. No, they are not. They are performing TikTok dance routines because they want to grab a little bit of attention and virtue signal their lives away. It's really quite pathetic and just makes the NHS look ridiculous. How can they sanction this sort of shit? I mean, we're supposed to be running in a wartime situation and we got people doing this. How can the NHS department heads sanction this to happen? Like I've said before, you're going to have to train for this, so that means rehearsals, time wasted, doing pointless shit, which is not saving people's lives. It's just making you look virtuous on social media, when in actual fact, I would hope most of this country would just find it pathetic and ignore it like it should have been. But obviously, the media absolutely love it and are all over it, because we all know they love a good old virtue signal themselves, so we'll join with the NHS nurses and do this. Wait for it, guys, we'll have journalists doing it together in all kinds of places, looking like idiots as well. Number of viral videos have triggered the trend, with staff at multiple hospitals joining in with synchronised dance routines in their uniforms. Medics treating coronavirus patients at a hospital in Leeds received over 50,000 views on Twitter for their TikTok dance. I'm sorry to tell you that 50,000 views on Twitter is not viral, because on that basis you're saying every video I make goes viral, which it really doesn't. Viral is topping millions of views. 50,000 views is not really that big, especially when it's the NHS and Twitter who love a good old virtue signal. I mean, it's even reached the point now where on the 21st of April, Vox reported This Week in TikTok, when doctors and nurses go viral. Because that is really something the world needs to know. Something I haven't pointed out so far, and all of these left-leaning media organisations have failed to point out, is that TikTok is a Chinese app run by a Chinese company. So you could essentially say run by the Chinese government, and we got the media over here promoting it all over the place with our doctors and nurses uploading stupid shit, making our country look like a bunch of idiots, in my opinion. It is really quite pathetic. We had Metro reporting, killjoys, meaning obviously me and any of you who agree with me, want NHS staff to stop morale-boosting TikTok dances. No, we want the NHS staff to stop virtue signalling. That is all it is. If they want to boost morale, they can do some team building exercises or whatever, but to me, this just looks like you're rubbing it in people's faces and trying to be oh so virtuous at the same time. Every Thursday, the nation pours out onto the streets to clap for the people on the coronavirus front line, particularly NHS staff. No, they go outside to clap for a bit of virtue signalling, which is why I've never done it, as I've said before. They are working all hours of the day and night, not just saving lives and risking their own, but also providing comfort in the final hours to those who are dying but cannot have their loved ones with them, which is a nice thing of them to do, but I must point out once again that it is their job. They're getting paid to do this. They're not doing it for free. These are not the Good Samaritans at the end of the day. They are doctors and nurses who are paid to do the job that they have chosen to do. We obviously thank them for it, but that always needs to be remembered. It's no surprise, therefore, those same heroes, doctors, nurses, healthcare assistants, want a bit of downtime to do something to boost morale. Dancing, sadly, as is the way with modern society, they have come in for criticism on social media from some killjoy quarters, including Katie Hopkins, the devil herself, for posting videos on TikTok. You gotta love how the Metro needs to name drop someone there. It just goes to show how pathetic they are. A woman who said her brother is treating coronavirus patients like the majority of NHS staff said, "I'm seriously pissed off seeing NHS staff dancing and fooling around. My brother is working 14-hour days in an ICU in London treating coronavirus patients. My sister is still performing surgery and is separated from her son. Cancer patients are having treatment and scans cancelled," which is something I've pointed out. You got idiots here like this doing stupid dances while people are dying down the corridor or on a different ward. Not necessarily down the corridor, but you get the point. I've seen it from several different hospitals. It's so disrespectful when there are so many ill and dying. Imagine someone who has just lost a loved one seeing these dumb videos, which is what I've said many times. I would not be very happy if a member of my family had just died in a hospital and I found out doctors and nurses from that same hospital were releasing a TikTok video of them dancing around all happy and joyous like a bunch of inconsiderate cunts. It really annoys me, I have to say. The University Hospitals of Derby and Burton NHS Trusts, like many NHS trusts around the countries, assured viewers that no patients were left uncared for in the making of the video. No one is suggesting that. These people are doctors and nurses at the end of the day. Their aim is to care for people. It's why they took the job. No one is debating that. But at the end of the day, they could go about making themselves feel better in a much more private way, considering people are dying. You know, I'm sure that's a common theme in hospitals, even when there's not a global pandemic. It should be common decency any time of the year, every year at the end of the day. But it's not finished there, because even the left are attacking the nurses, as we see here. Yesterday, a group of nurses were accused of cultural appropriation for performing the haka. The nurses from Tavistock in Devon said they wanted to send a message to coronavirus that it would never beat us. They ended up deleting the video and issued an apology. Now, this cultural appropriation nonsense really pisses me off. They're paying homage to the haka, not slagging it off. It's just incredible. But is realistically something that we know the Metro subscribe to. And you see they're moaning in this article about people complaining. They tried to frame it as Katie Hopkins. But what it really started as was the family of patients in hospitals who are suffering cancer and various other ailments that might have had their appointments cancelled or can't get the treatment they need for any other reason, which is reported here in the Daily Mail. Families of cancer patients pan disrespectful videos of dancing NHS staff while patients are dying due to cancelled operations, which I would have to agree with the families here. Like I've said, it's extremely inconsiderate and pretty low-life behaviour to me. That is just, like I've said many times, virtue signalling. The families of cancer patients who have had their treatments and scans cancelled have criticised NHS staff for posting videos of dance routines in hospitals. groups of nurses from wards in London, Buckinghamshire, Leeds and Wolverhampton have created the videos using the Chinese TikTok app. The videos were created by various NHS staff. While some accuse the offensive videos of making a mockery of the health service, they're not offensive, they're just stupid. Others claimed they were providing light relief during a stressful time. Yeah, because they're all liberal loonies who love a bit of virtue signalling even when people are dying. They don't think about that, do they? They just think about themselves and looking oh so virtuous. I mean, you can see them. Look at these dances, they're so pathetic and synonymous with TikTok from what I have seen of it. Absolutely full of pathetic videos doing silly shit like this. It's nonsensical, along with being inconsiderate to the families of people who have been affected by this situation, either directly or indirectly relating to hospitals. And as is pointed out here, others slammed workers for risking damaging vital face masks, aprons and gloves during a nationwide shortage. Well done for thinking of that, who has said that, because it didn't even occur to me that they were doing that, even though I noticed they were all wearing full PPE. And obviously, here is the tweet that we read out earlier. I am not impressed by these endless showreels of nurses dancing about in hospital corridors. Either look after your patients or go and have a sit down. This isn't China. We don't need daily propaganda videos. Which, Ruperta Margate, I would have to agree with you 100%. Is anyone else shocked at the stupid dancing videos from NHS empty hospitals? Thousands trapped at home needing tests, scans, cancer treatments and surgery. Thousands will die because they're not treated early enough. Thousands of early cancers not being diagnosed. Just stop it. If I fuck around dancing and making TikTok videos in the office, I'd be fired. The NHS in the middle of a crisis in which thousands of people are dying but have lots of free time to make TikTok videos. The absolute fucking state of it, and Mark, I would have to agree with you, mate, it is infuriating. I would be totally and utterly embarrassed by your behaviour if I was an NHS worker, dancing and prancing around whilst people are led to believe you are overstretched and you still lap up the praise and admiration of the nation. Now I would like to know, if I have got any NHS workers who work for me, what your opinions on this are. Sound off down in the comments and let me know, because there definitely seems to be a lot of people riling against them here. I'm not going to read them all out, you kinda get the point. I don't need to say any more, it's rather pathetic. These NHS staff need to stop virtue signalling, in my opinion. Now before I go, I've started doing live streams and uploading gaming content on my second channel. If you would like to come and join me for a live stream to chat in real time, have an interest in gaming related content on YouTube, or just want to follow me over there because you are a legend, the link will be down in the video description below and as a pinned comment. I hope to see you all there. Now as always, before I go, I want to thank our PayPal, Patreon, Subscribestar and YouTube members for supporting the channel, along with everyone who watches my videos. Remember to let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Leave a like, subscribe with the notification bell and share this video as it helps the channel a lot. And I will see you all in the next one.
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors. Slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires. And that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going and we are glad to be going. We're off.